ladies and gentlemen, and movie lovers of all kind, and welcome back to the channel. As always, I am your host, Brett Murphy, and for today's video, it is going to be another ranking. And I am going to be ranking all 4 of the Ghostbusters movies. So, long story short, Ghostbusters Afterlife has finally released in theaters. And as per usual with this channel, that means that I have to do a ranking. Before I get into the actual ranking itself, I just wanted to let you all know that I have an entire playlist dedicated to all of my ranking videos. So be sure to check that out, and I guarantee you'll find something you like. And so, with all that being said, let's hop right into things. Number 4. Ghostbusters 2016. I want to start by saying that I don't hate this movie, I enjoy it for what it is. It was absolutely surrounded by controversy upon its release, and it really didn't deserve any of it. The cast chemistry is excellent, even if the characters themselves are hit or miss, with Leslie Jones being the standout. Out of all 4 of these movies, this one had the most variety in its ghosts and the most creative ghost design. The score is actually really good from the relatively unknown Theodore Shapiro. It boasts a ton of bright, vibrant colors, which really help to bring the movie to life. The cameos from the returning cast members are a nice little treat. The final battle is actually really exciting, and in my mind, better than the final battles in the original 2 Ghostbusters. However, the comedy in this movie is not good at all, and it relies very heavily on that comedy. Which basically means you can throw like 2/3 of this movie away. Chris Hemsworth was completely wasted, and his character is far too dumb to even be believable. The main villain is awful and unmemorable, and in the end, the movie really doesn't do enough to justify its existence. Number 3. Ghostbusters 2. Obviously, the cast has superb chemistry. Their banter, quips, and camaraderie all feels very genuine and natural, just as it did in the original. I really loved seeing how their lives played out after 5 years of being out of business, and how they interacted when finally getting back together. It offers up more ghosts and more creative ghost design than at least the original did, and it gave us more Rick Moranis, who I actually enjoyed in the sequel after not loving him in the original. However, I could not stand the character of Jonas Poha. I thought that the pink ooze reacting to human emotion was a strange and unnecessary choice. The main villain, Vigo, sucked. They ditched the edgier and more adult-oriented comedy from the original, and swapped it out for more slapstick and potty humor. And lastly, the Ghostbusters remix by Run DMC is not good at all. Number 2. Ghostbusters Afterlife. A new group of Ghostbusters for a new generation, with the son of the original director now in the director's chair himself, carrying forward his father's legacy. I loved the main family and Paul Rudd, with McKenna Grace being the obvious standout and very clearly a huge star in the making. I thought that the small town setting was perfect and a nice change of pace for the franchise. I personally loved the nostalgia-laced moments in this. The references and callbacks didn't feel overbearing to me, and instead they really worked. There are some incredibly emotional moments throughout its undeniably satisfying finale, and it managed to recapture that sense of wonder and bewilderment that the original executed on so well. And in my mind, it did a sensational job at walking that very thin line between being a good sequel and being its own thing. And truthfully, I really hope to see more adventures with these new Ghostbusters. Although, I did find the first half of this movie to be pretty slow. Most of it was necessary, don't get me wrong, but it did drag a little bit. I didn't care very much for any of the side characters aside from Paul Rudd, and the product placement is indeed a touch too aggressive. And number 1, Ghostbusters. Yep, the original is still the best that this franchise has to offer. The chemistry of this cast in their first go-around was phenomenal. Each character has their own unique, distinct personalities that each actor portrays magnificently. Their exchanges feel authentic and natural, and the comedy in this flick, even if all of it didn't age that well, worked very well for me, and I was laughing pretty consistently throughout. The movie's score and soundtrack are both superb. And in the end, this movie is really just purely and simply fun. It's not without a few flaws, though. Some of the written dialogue and line delivery are a bit wonky, and I never really understood how the Ghostbusters themselves became credible and got all of that popularity. I mean, all they do is show up to a fancy hotel, trash the place, turn on their little fog machine, say they caught a ghost, and ask for $5,000, and it works. And then they just blow up and become insanely popular. At the end of the day though, this movie is considered a classic and a Halloween tradition for a reason. So that is all for today's video, folks. Be sure to let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree with my ranking. And while you're at it, feel free to let me know what you'd like to see me rank next. If you enjoyed that video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. And if you'd like to see more content, consider subscribing to my channel and ringing that little bell icon. That way you can be notified about all of my latest uploads. And as always, stay safe. Thank you so much for watching. And that's a wrap. Hey you, yeah you, if you made it this far, just know I appreciate you, and while you're here, consider hitting that subscribe button.